All right, 11, 13, 25. All right, guys, let's pull our voices down. Quiet, 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 please. Thank you. All right. So we're going to talk very quickly today. We're not going to dive super far into this because this is one of those stories you probably already know, but I want to give some things that are interesting. We have 1 Samuel. Guys, 1 Samuel chapter 17. Wait. All right, 1 Samuel 17. This is David and Goliath. All right, David and Goliath. So when we're working on our essay today, these are some of the things. This is one of the things we're going to be talking about. I swear, Jonathan, you wait every single time for me to start lecturing to sharpen a pencil. But you and Brooklyn, every single time. Constantly.
Bro, I do not. I sharpened a pencil one time, bro. I hate fake pencils.
Fake pencils?
Bro, you have done it like 6, 7 times.
All right, bro.
6, 7. All right. All right. So.
You cannot use that vocabulary.
Why not?
From this day on, you can't.
Senor Agua.
Yeah, all right. I don't know where I was supposed to be. Hold on. All right. All right. Now that I'm done crashing out, Brooklyn. All right. David and Goliath. All right. This is now a major motif, a major modern motif. I'm going to use this word in today's essay assignment. It's one of these good vocabulary words for you to learn. All right. A motif, M-O-T-I-F, is a recurring theme in literature or other media. All right. It is a recurring theme, a motif. Yeah. What? All right. Oh, you're not. Okay. Pretty good. So, the motif of David and Goliath pops up all the time, and it's kind of the story of Israel. In some ways, this story is Israel's story. Remember last class we talked about Hannah's prayer. We watched that guest lecture online. We watched that lecture, and we saw that Hannah's prayer opens up the whole rest of 1 and 2 Samuel. So, First Samuel chapter 2 is where it was. Opens up the meaning, opens up, or as he said, illuminates rest of the story. So we're going to see this shown in our David and Goliath story as well. All right? The whole theme of Hannah's prayer is God's protection for the small and humble. God's protection for the poor, those that are downtrodden and impoverished, right? God is going to protect the lowly people. The people that are prideful, the people that think highly of themselves are going to be destroyed and haughty. But the lowly, right, in this situation, it's David. He's just some small little kid. He's going to be cared for and protected. So we're going to see 3 major ways. I'll move out of the way in a little bit. Sorry, guys. This is just, I don't have a lot of space. So 3 ways. David and Goliath. Goliath are mirror. I'm actually going to say David and Saul. The whole arc, the whole story narrative of David and Saul. Sorry, we'll see it somewhat in David and Goliath, but we're going to see it in the entirety of these stories are mirror for Israel. Remember that these stories, these narratives are meant to illustrate and give us explanations. What does it look like for us to do these things? How do we understand Israel's history through these stories? So the first is going to be profane worship causes suffering. All right, profane worship causes suffering. This is an important one to note and to think about because we see it with Saul. This is why Saul is not allowed to be king anymore, is because profane worship. We're breaking the law, right? Breaking the law, defiling the temple, profane, and I'll explain profane in a second, but profane worship causes suffering. All right, profane is improper. It's like improper, inappropriate, wrong. Any of those kind of work for this. Profanity, right? Curse words, you can't use profanity in school. That's just all these curse words. Like when you guys say "saibao," you're trying to hide your profanity, but we all know what you're doing. At least some of us do. Don't mouth it at me. All right, so profane, right? It's profane of Brooklyn to mouth "saibao" at me. So then we keep on going, and we're going to see this in Israel, right? Saul can't be king because of this. Israel cast into exile. Israel gets thrown into exile or into captivity. We're about to be looking at this in 2 more classes. We're going to be looking at different views. We're going to look at the experiences of the exile. We're going to dive really hard into this stuff in just a few class periods. We're going to be looking at some people's experiences in the exile. It's going to be quite a bit. Emotionally, we'll get to some of this stuff that is actually really crazy. But anyways, Israel gets thrown into the exile, right? So Saul no longer gets to be king. He gets punished because of it. Israel no longer has a king. They get punished and thrown into captivity because of it. Now, I'm going to put the other 2 reasons up here. I'm going to erase this stuff up on the top here. All right. Then we have generational punishment. Generational punishment. This is a recurring theme. It's one of those things that we just kind of have to wrestle with and understand, that we don't necessarily love or know how to deal with always. But when Israel is cast into exile and captivity, they're cast into captivity for 70 years. So what about those children or grandchildren that are born and being punished for that? That's just how it works in these, right? It's generations sin, so now generations are punished. But Saul and David, when they commit sins, yes, they get punished. Saul can't be king, but neither can his son now. When Eli and his sons when Eli was allowing his sons to be vile, the entire next generation of Eli's family was wiped out and destroyed. Right? Generational punishment is another thing that we see thrown in Hannah's story. So we're going to see, and in 1st and 2nd Samuel, and in Israel's story, when they're thrown in for exile for 70 years. Israel exiled 70 years. And our final thing, and then we're going right into reading 1 Samuel 17, is God protects the humble. This is, and God will release them from, all right, God will release them from exile and captivity, and God is going to protect the humble. In David's story that we're just about to read, this very cool story of David and Goliath, the story you guys probably already know, God cares for David. When David is acting humbly, he's accused of being prideful, but he's acting humbly and saying, I can do this, even though I'm a humble, small man, I will be brave and I will do this. I know that God will protect me, right? When you trust in God, this is the message of this, that when you trust in God, God's going to save them. And again, this mirrors that Israel is going to be released eventually from exile. We're going to explore that later. When we look at the book of Isaiah, we'll talk through what are they doing and how do they feel as they leave exile. We'll talk about Nehemiah and Ezra as they're rebuilding the cities. All right. That being said, that's all we're going to do. What I need you to do now, that's it. Not bad, right? 9 minutes. Open to 1 Samuel chapter 17. We're going to read, and then we're going to go straight into work time for the rest of class.